Greetings, 1%ers, and welcome to Occupy the Marriott. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Hey, aren't you the one who wrote that smash New York Times bestseller, Demonic? How the liberal mobs are endangering America. And no sooner did it come out than demonic liberals burst out into mobs across the nation. But the good news is the title of my next book is Nancy Pelosi Moves to Luxembourg. One of liberals, the mob's most irritating attributes is their infernal slogans. Slogans give off the appearance of having meaning, but if you think about it for 30 seconds, they mean nothing. It's kind of like an Obama speech. Pro-choice, pro-child, you can't hug a child with nuclear arms. What does that mean? So now we have this jug-eared lunkhead in the White House who's performed the financial miracle economists refer to as the Carter years. We're $15 trillion in debt, and Obama's plan is to spend more. Was Bernie Madoff appointed spending czar when I wasn't paying attention? The Democrats are like your degenerate brother-in-law who borrows $500 for the rent and spends it on crack and hookers and comes back to you and says, I got to have $500 for the rent. No, 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 no. What happened to the last $1 trillion? Obamacare is so fantastic and everyone is so looking forward to being in it that the Democrats immediately gave waivers to 1,000 of their best friends. Americans opposed it when it passed, and a continuous majority of Americans have opposed it since it's passed. The only thing Americans have agreed on this much is that O.J. killed Nicole. Consider that the lowest unemployment numbers since Obama has been president occurred the day he took office. Since then, up, we have a little dip now. The unemployment rate was 7.6 when Obama took office. The next month, 8.1. Soared up through 9 and 10. Now that he's gotten it down to 8.6, everyone in the media is demanding we do a hallelujah chorus that he's gotten it down to 1 full point above what it was when he took office. It's like you go to a doctor with a fever of 102, he treats you, it goes up to 104, and then 3 years later it falls to 103, and we're all supposed to agree that is one good doctor. That will conclude our sneak preview of what American medical care will be like under Obamacare. I'm just kidding. Under Obamacare, you'll have to wait 3 years to see a doctor. You'll probably get better by then, or you'll die. Obama is going to be very difficult to beat this year. He's an incumbent. Americans keep telling pollsters they like him personally, don't like his policies, but they like him personally. Our first black president, the non-Fox media, is gaga about him. He'd probably make a lovely next-door neighbor, as long as you're not Chinese, and he'd be constantly borrowing stuff. If we did get Flavor Flav instead of Thomas Sowell. When is it going to be okay in this country to admit we elected a man based on the color of his skin? I'm talking, of course, about John Boehner. Dark orange is in, baby. Look at how popular Snooki is. Republicans have managed to defeat a sitting president only twice in the last 100 years. Once was exactly 100 years ago in 1912. Once was in 1980 with Ronald Reagan. Meanwhile, independents are fleeing Obama. This yesterday, but based on his public approval ratings now, it looks like he is not headed for re-election. This is, you hear it all the time, this is the most important election of our lifetime because this is the only shot we have to repeal Obamacare. If it is not repealed in the next administration, that's it. It is here to stay. People start receiving their treats. Newt Gingrich will be denouncing plans to reform it as right-wing social engineering, and America begins its inexorable decline into Western Europe without the charming cafes and cobblestone streets. When Reagan ran and was the first one to take out a sitting president in 100 years, he did not run against Jimmy Carter by calling him a socialist. He didn't call him a Kenyan colonialist. He didn't call him a radical. He didn't say anything about Carter. He said Carter's policies were failed. That's how Reagan took out a sitting president the first time in 100 years. I think I think all real females are right-wingers, and I can tell you that all pretty girls are right-wingers. Pretty girls may have no politics, but you cannot tell with men, and it's very frustrating. Some of my male fans have hairs to their derriere and tattoos up and down their arms. Some of my antagonists seem like perfectly attractive, preppy young men. Girls, pretty girl is walking toward your table, you know she's a fan. No, I think it's the feminist movement that has set us back. I mean, I don't write about feminism. It seems so manifestly obvious. It doesn't need my stunning skills or analysis. But I mean, the reason unattractive, I suppose, well, the reason liberal women are liberal is because they have to date liberal men. And, you know, they get... As we've seen from Bill Clinton and Dominique Strauss-Kahn and Anthony Weiner, we see how liberal men treat women. So I'd be angry too. I'll take 69 cents on the dollar or whatever the current feminist myth is about how much we make just to never have to pay for dinner. You know, birth control for all, and who does that help? I think it helps Anthony Weiner and Bill Clinton and Dominique Strauss-Kahn. This isn't a Senate election. This is the future of the country. This is no time to be, oh, try this. I thought the more Republicans we got elected, the more the Constitution would be respected. I've been a little concerned recently that some conservatives seem to be adopting this liberal trait of calling anything you like constitutional and anything you don't like unconstitutional. Constitutional refers to the most brilliant document ever conceived in the minds of men for promoting freedom, and it is precisely because of what you allude to, the 10th Amendment, but it's not just the 10th Amendment. The Constitution is a limit on what the federal government can do, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason that is freedom promoting. It's not just that it's the Constitution and, oh, we'll just say we like the Constitution. It's because it's a fantastic Constitution, and there's never been anything like it in the history of the world. Two, as Rick Santorum has said, yes, states can ban contraception. States could have a law saying you have to walk around in a purple hat. There's nothing in the Constitution that says they can't. They probably won't do it. That allows the maximum number of Americans to fashion the sort of society they're living in by breaking it down to as small a unit as possible. And the worst thing about Obamacare is certainly not the individual mandate. The worst thing we just saw this week, and it's just the beginning. At this point, this isn't a Catholic issue. This is a freedom issue. Insurance is to insure against unexpected catastrophes. It's for fires, it's for accidents, it's for cancer, it's for sudden marriages to a Kardashian. Birth control, what they are doing is using insurance for communism. The title of the bill should have been Kathleen Sebelius, feminist zealot. Soon, every insurance plan in the country is going to have to cover everything that would be desirable to, you know, the San Francisco City Council. It's going to be every crazy liberal idea. My point is, it's not insurance. And then, you know, once every insurance plan in the country by federal law has to cover 1 million different things, restless leg syndrome and aromatherapy and gambling addiction and gender reassignment surgery, oh yeah, then you can buy insurance across state lines. But every insurance plan in the country will have to cover all this. It's not insurance. This is a scam. It is not about Catholicism. It is about the government taking over your life.